Stephen. Stefan. Is the 29th? Yes. Where is my 29th? Works exactly 1 year since I've been in county this Tuesday.
My name's Keith Collier. Setting my classroom up for instructor 1 service. Of course, the topic today is going to be forcible entry. I've already set my classroom up as needed. I've got 4 students. I've got the heating controls set where I think everybody will be. And we were a few minutes late getting started here because of logistics, getting everything going. So this is for back everything here. All right. My name is Firefighter Keith Collier. I'm with the Wright City Fire Protection District. I've been there 15 years this month. Our class we're teaching today is going to be forcible entry. Our lesson goal for today is hopefully after here. After completing this lesson, the students shall be able to recognize the different types of forcible entry tools and hopefully be able to describe the different methods for forcing entry through the door. Some of our objectives we're going to touch on today is being able to describe the basic principles of forcible entry, the forcible entry tools, the different types, explain considerations for the forcible entry tool safety. Part of that's going to be the how to maintain the tools. We're also going to describe methods for forcing entry through the different types of doors. And then the one skill sheet we will be doing today is skill sheet 25, and that'll be our normal inward and outward facing doors. We're not doing any locks or nothing like that today. So that being said, can I get everybody to introduce yourselves? I know we're all with Wright City, but so the background people will know our different expertise levels, because that's going to be part of our class today. Go ahead.
My name is Greg Grizzle. I'm in the Fire Academy right now for 1 and 2. I'm also a paramedic in Warren County.
And how long have you been with the department?
Soon to be 2 years.
There you go.
I'm Stan Howard. Been with Wright City for 11 months.
There you go.
Steve Kuzner, been with Wright City Basic Firefighter for 2 years.
And you've also had previous experience, correct?
Yes.
And how much there?
In St. Peter, so it's very short.
Okay, fair enough.
Is Kramer. I've been with Wright City Fire Protection District for almost a year. I have a total of 5 years of experience prior. I'm also deputy sheriff.
I gotcha. So we have a broad range of experience here. With that being said, the ones with lesser experience, if we get going too fast or you don't understand something, please don't hesitate to stop me, and we'll try to explain a little bit further. I'm going to pass around a training record. If you could print your name on each, I'll pass the pen out with it. Don't forget that. What's that?
Yeah, that's going to sign.
Don't worry about
It's going to sign in the sign.
I just print your name on it.
It's the word board.
I'm passing out a handout from the Center for Firefighting.
Thank you,
For edition 6, we are covering edition 7, unfortunately,
Thank you for your
but it will help you along the way.
Great.
Very good.
Really appreciate the diversity of the pages. What?
Quit hitting the table, I'm trying to print my name.
Stop being bad at writing.
Oh, that's never gonna happen.
I really can't talk. I really can't. Yeah, it's hard to make that good.
I should have been a doctor.
Make one. See, I brought it back because I'm prepared.
I'm just giving my time to sign the sheet.
See, sorry. I do as it not smells, I do. And the joke where he caps it in the apologist. I do as it smells, love. Oh, God.
Pardon me for a minute, it's my regular job, we got an emergency going on.
You are a horrible person.
Not, and I got it.
So we're done with this one for now.
All
All right. The book you might have to go back and forth with a little bit because it's not quite lined up with the PowerPoint, just so y'all know. I mostly did it for some of the new guys to have some information to help teach them along. So here we go, this is chapter 9 of the Essentials of Firefighting, and we're doing forcible entry today. We're going to describe the basic principles of forcible entry. Forcible entry techniques. They're used to gain access when normal means of entry is blocked. We hope to do minimal damage and provide a quick access. Where are we going to force entry? The IC or supervisor determines based upon. IC is incident commander for our new guys. Tactics that must be fulfilled, the location of the fire, the stage of the fire, the effect on ventilation, and effort required to force entry. We always want to wait to be ordered to force entry before doing so, because it can cause other problems down the road. Forcible entry and ventilation. The location of the opening that adds fresh air to ventilation, controlled fire can affect the fire behavior. Therefore, if if it doesn't have option of being presented to it, so to speak, and you open that door, it's liable to just make it rage. An entry to a structure is ventilation. The controlled doors and windows to limit that fresh air. We should always try before we pry. And I know a couple of us in the automotive industry, I've seen this happen more than once. Guy will actually pick the lock on one side of the door and go around and try to pick the lock on the other side of the door when he could just open the door and reach in and open the other driver's side. Using a lockbox instead of forcible entry reduces property damage. It may allow for entry. Information may be stored, pre-incident plans and/or CAD data. We'll talk about that a little bit later at a previous fire that Captain Holtmeyer just walked in on. I've got some pictures of the fire that he was at originally. General forcible entry considerations. The doors and locks, the proper tools, and security barriers. The tools described in this chapter are not intended to be a comprehensive list of all tools that may be available. They're just primarily the tools that are used the most common. What factors must be considered when deciding where and how to forcible entry?
How serious the situation is to get in, if we need to do it quickly or we take our time.
Correct. That's one aspect.
Are other means not involving forcible entry that we can use to obtain the same goal?
Correct. You're going to use your lesser means first, and then eventually go into your more maximum means. Going to fire where the fire is at. That's going to affect where it's at. Where you want to try to force entry. What structures in our jurisdiction might pose difficult or unusual entry circumstances? Now, no, you can't enter on this one because
I was going to pick a totally different one.
Okay, we can do that. I was
The
just
meat packing plant when it's finished.
Correct.
That's going to be a nightmare.
Yes, and right now our duty crews are getting inside the depth of that as they're building that. That's, with me working construction, it's actually kind of a unique design building because normally they put concrete tilt-up walls up and they're on the outer structure. But that has several interior concrete walls, so to speak, and it's going to have lots of doors and whatnot. So yeah, that's a perfect one, but the rest of them, if you don't mind, you help me take the pictures, so I don't want you to spoil some of these.
Storage shed? Storage shed people? Around here?
This one, nobody's going to be able to recognize where it's at just yet, but do we see anything that would pose a problem getting in? Ooh, unfair. It is an outward facing or outward swinging door, but there's at least 2 other variables involved in that door on top of your normal lock.
All around it is just steel or metal?
Metal door frames.
Look a little closer. So whatever, it won't work on the screens, but it has a deadbolt, so you got 2 locks to deal with. And then if you look here carefully, you see some carriage bolts. So that means it's got what they call an inner crossbar. And so
The one that you push.
Like
this is an inside view of that same door. So there's a couple different ways you can force this door. And I've actually got a good video on one of the ways that does it. My first thought would have been to take K12 and cut through the door to cut through the bar. But that being said, we're looking at almost 8 inches because the door itself is 2 inches. There's about a 4-inch air gap, and then you got a 2-inch bar. So we're looking at 8 inches total also. When I thought K12, then I was like, well, maybe that's not the best idea. I'll show you a video later on that will give that. So this is actually at the subway up here in the strip mall. What do we see wrong with possible problems here? There's actually 2 of them.
It depends what's back there.
No, that's not it.
That's not part of the glass?
No, that won't be part. It won't be a part of our problem.
Okay.
But right there, so that's a window. Obviously, it's not a door. But we'll lead into a door here at the same building here in just a minute. So if you look carefully, I don't know, can you see the little X's or cross hatches in that glass?
Security glass?
It is a wire mesh glass inside of it. It's wedged in. And the glass is actually pretty thick, but I couldn't tell how thick it was. So that's going to be one problem. Not only are you going to have a glass issue, you can't just bust the glass. You're going to have to literally cut it if you're going to have to breach that one. The secondary problem is you obviously see it's a window, but you can't see in the window, correct? It's got too blurry on me. You see the daylight up here in the top side? Right here where it's dark, and then right over here where it's dark at, that is actually like a barn door hinge system. Whenever he closes at night, he swings that down and locks it down, and it's got those big lasps, just like a barn door would have, this big hasp to keep that door from swinging. He does that to help for extra security because of what he has inside.
What is it?
You'll see here in a minute. So that's his door. And again, this door, I actually needed to go back in person and he wasn't open. This door poses 2 problems. Again, one is, as you can see, it's got that same wire mesh in the glass. Then, if you look, and Noah was with me, did we not? We could not find the locking mechanism anywhere on that door frame.
Nope.
So it has to lock from the inside only, but we couldn't find out physically where it was at. And it doesn't have a,
handle.
the handle with the, what do you call it, the panic bar. There we go. No, it does not have a panic bar. That's just a solid steel piece with like a handrail where you can grab it from, pull it from either way. And that door does swing both ways.
So think of it like a window frame, that's just like.
Yeah. So that is George's barber shop. That's around
It has a
there.
wire glass in it.
Yeah. And this one, another outward swinging door. I didn't get the advantage of seeing the inside of this one, but it's got something bolted here.
Right.
I would say it's got an extra locking mechanism of some kind right there that we can't see right now. Same building. We have several of these, obviously, it's just a standard garage door, but we have several of these in there. Those can be a problem too, and I know this because one of my buildings I worked in, we got broken into twice through a garage door. So we wound up drilling the channel and installing padlocks on both sides of the channel. So obviously if somebody has done something like that, you're not going to get this door open very easily. And if you look right here in this corner, like I said, it's not working. This corner, it's actually already kind of opened up and that you can see inside the building. It's right up the road here. Does anybody recognize this building off these 2 pictures? No, fair Noah.
I actually recognized it before.
Yeah. It's Haney's grocery store. And by the way, this gives it away because it's not the front door. So I got a couple pictures here of this one. So again, this is kind of going to be a problem child, so to speak. I took this picture of it. Just barely, it took me 3 times to catch this picture. But if you look right here, it has one hole with the security lock, and this one flipped over. So if we was going to, and that door was like a triple or a quad pane glass. So ideally, the only way I would know to breach that would be to cut through in between there with a sawzall or something of that nature to cut the actual lock mechanism. Cap Holtmeyer, would you say anything different on how to breach that door by chance? Because that one's a new one on me.
I'm all for trying to break the glass. You know, it's a quadruple pane.
Punch the lock out.
Okay, fair enough.
Those doors look, well,
Okay, this one,
So,
This one, I got to take help with ventilation this one night, but this one's gonna be, I'm gonna have several photos here of this one, and this is in district, but this is facing the parking lot looking in. This is a close-up of this door right here, and obviously you see a window there. And then I'm standing at that gate, taking a picture through the gate. This whole area right here is it is a door. It's one of them airplane hangar size doors. And then just past that door, where you can't get access to right now, and I'm going to ask Captain Holtmeyer a question here in a minute, there's actually another window right there. Was that the window Firefighter Stone was trying to reach, or was it the one outside the gate?
On the back side.
That back, around back, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. I couldn't get access to the back side. But there was a fire somewhere in this general vicinity where these windows were, and it was a very minute fire, but it filled the whole, I think it's 6,000 or 8,000 square foot building, and it filled the building full of smoke. It was somebody laid a piece of hot steel they had been welding on, they laid it on a pallet of a stack of pallets. And then over time, it just started smoldering, and eventually caught the pallets on fire. And that was all it was. So the end result was they installed a Knox box so we could have better access. Because Firefighter Stone got defeated, he was in a swing like he was just getting ready to take the window out. He was told to stand down because the key holder finally showed up. And because of that, they put a Knox box in. But this is Avion. They do rotors for, I think it's a CH-56, the double propelled, 57? It's Chinook, yeah.
47.
47, okay. Well, I'm not a Marine brat either. But they renew the swaps, the propellers for that up there.
They still do that now?
Oh, yes, they do. And that's on the industrial park, Cooperative Way, down on the east end of our district. All right, objective 2, we're going to describe the different forcible entry tools. We always want to wear appropriate PPE with forcible entry tools, which is always going to be your gloves, safety glasses, and we're going to, today's skill sheets, we're going to do full bunker gear. There's 4 categories of forcible entry tools. We got cutting tools, we'll have more description here in a minute, pushing and pulling tools, prying tools, and striking tools. Cutting tools are going to be powered manually, or they're used with another power source. There's no cutting tool that will cut all materials. Using a cutting tool and materials for which it was not designated can damage the tool or can endanger the operator. Here's a couple different axes. We got a pick head axe and we got a flat head axe. Metal cutting devices, we've got bolt cutters. We have those on the truck, I believe on all 3 of them. Cutting torches, that's going to be more in your bigger departments that have heavy rescue squads. Rebar cutters, another thing we have on our trucks that would cut it, I think we got a grinder, a couple cordless grinders in a couple of the trucks that would cut off, but it would also suffice. You never want to use a cutting torch in a flammable atmosphere. Whether it be, possible fuel tank rupture or vapored in a tank somewhere like that. Different types of hand saws. Now, I don't know if we can use a drywall saw for forcible entry. We're usually going to probably have a pipe pull in our hands, which will do it a whole lot quicker. Drywall saw and a keyhole saw. Different types of power saws. We have circular saw, which we don't carry on our trucks. Rotary saw, which is our K12. Reciprocating saw or sawzall. We have a cordless one of those. I know 9724, and I think 14 and 34 have them, also different brands. And then we got chainsaw, of course. We have a couple different types of chainsaws on the bigger trucks because we have the power bent saw, and then we have regular chainsaw. The different types of power sources. Like we said, we talked about earlier, we got cordless tools nowadays. That's the self-contained battery packs. You have gasoline engines, and you have electricity from a generator or an outlet. A gasoline engine can also power a hydraulic unit, which in our case, like our Hurst tools, we've got the Rams on those still on 24. The rest of them are battery powered. Power saws. Be familiar with your saws that our department uses. Always follow the manufacturer's recommendations and SOPs. Everybody know what SOPs are?
Standard operating procedure.
There you go. I'm just making sure we got some young guys here. Always use eye, hearing, and hand protection. Forcing any saw beyond its design limitations can result in property damage and/or injury. Never use a power saw in a flammable atmosphere. Once again, I would say that might be a test question. Possibly. Cautions, wear appropriate eye, ear, hand, and foot protection when operating any power saw. Never force a power saw. Do you think these two are very important? Never force a power saw beyond its design limits. Follow manufacturer's recommendations. Do not attempt a power saw in flammable atmospheres. Sparks from the cutting operations can cause additional fire, so we should always have a charged hose line or a portable fire extinguisher close at hand during cutting. Never use a rotary saw to cut the shell of any storage tank that might contain flammable vapors, fuel tanks, storage tanks, anything like that. The blade guards of some rotary saws are not designed to use with carbide tipped blades. Be sure that saw is designed for those blades to be used. All right, prying tools. For opening doors, opening locks, windows, or moving heavy objects. We got mechanical advantages with prying tools here. The door acts as the fulcrum in the direction of force. This is what he's using in the picture, just a standard halogen bar.
Sort of related question. Are all of our halogens pin welded, or do we have one pieces? Do we have one piece halogens, or are they all?
I think the newer ones are forged.
I figured there was.
Here's a whole list of
Captains?
manual prying tools. Crowbars, we have them on our trucks. Kelly tools, flat bars, pry bar. I believe a couple of our trucks have pry bars. Pry axe, Huck's bars, claw tool, and of course the Halligan. All of our trucks have those. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe 34 did. I never have paid attention. 14 has a short Halligan, correct?
34 does.
We never put one on 14? Okay. So 34 even has a shorter Halligan. Hydraulic prying tools. You got hydraulic rams, which all of our trucks have them. 24 is going to be hydraulically driven. 14 and 34 would be battery powered. And then hydraulic door opener. As you can see there, it's a little handheld